All right. A very warm welcome to everyone and all the panelists as well as attendees to this fifth edition of our webinar on series called Excellence in Apparel. Today we have a very distinguished panel of experts in quality. The topic of today's webinar is the future of quality. And I know everyone would be excited to hear about it and to know about it. Quality is something which all our customers demand, not only whatever industry we are in. And I think this is something which is on everybody's mind. We have today a very distinguished panel of experts, and some of them are very known. Most of them you all know, would be knowing them, but just I'm required to do it. So therefore, just to give a brief introduction. First, I would like to introduce Dr. Shripad Hegde. Dr. Hegde is head of quality for Shahi Exports, Bangalore. He has over 32 years experience in apparel and in international buying houses. He started his career as an operator at Gokuldas Exports, and really that's an amazing story of Dr. Hegde, of how from an operator he's now become head of quality. That's an amazing journey. He worked in Mex International, a European buying house, for 16 years. Spent 8 years at Gokuldas Exports as head of quality, a couple of years in Freiburg, and last 5 years he's been at Shahi Exports as head of quality. Dr. Hegde did his graduation from Mysore University. He's a certified Lean Six Sigma Green Belt through AICTE Delhi, and holds an MBA and an LLB. So that's a very interesting combination. And finally, he has a PhD in quality management from Sri Satya Sai University of Technology and Medical Science. So what an amazing journey from starting off as an operator to being a PhD in quality. So Dr. Hegde, delighted and honored to have you as a panelist today. And I'm sure that people would really would find your feedback and your thoughts and your experience very enlightening. Next.
Thank you, Mr. Ganesh. Thank you.
Next, I would like to introduce Mr. Murthy. Mr. Murthy has got over 20 years experience in apparel and retail industry. He has worked in various export companies, and in the last 12 years, he has been traveling extensively in India, Bangladesh, working with apparel factories in their process management and implementing self-empowerment systems. Mr. Murthy has got a lot of experience in training, especially when it comes to quality. Mr. Murthy did his graduation from Andhra University. He's a certified Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, as well as is certified in lean auditing processes. So welcome, Mr. Murthy. Delighted to have you there.
Thank you, Ganesh and Blue.
And lastly, we have Mr. Ajay Ravuri. Ajay, a lot of you would be knowing, is currently he is head of quality at Arvind Fashions. But just to give a brief about his experience, he has over 16 years experience in the apparel industry. He started his career with K. Mohan and Company, and there he was a certified GST practitioner. In 5 years, he rose to become a factory manager there. From there, he moved on to Gokuldas Exports, where he was head of brand quality for Nike, customer Nike, and got an opportunity to visit various factories in Sri Lanka and mastered lean tools and quality tools. In his current role as head of quality at Arvind Fashions, he heads a team that handles over 150 factories across India and Bangladesh. And apart from that, he also heads the digital initiative program at Arvind. And if you get some time today, Ajay would love to have you talk a little bit about how you've done digital at Arvind. And he's, from an education point of view, he's a mechanical engineer and a GMT graduate from NIFT Hyderabad. Welcome, Ajay.
Thanks, Ganesh.
So with that introduction, I wanted to just dive right away into some of the questions and topics that we were talking. And one of the things which we were thinking about and which attendees think about is how has the concept of quality evolved over the last maybe 15, 20 years? And I know what is quality is a very big question mark, but I think the expectations from customers has also changed and evolved over the last 20 years. So Dr. Hegde, maybe I would like to start with you and ask you, how do you think quality has evolved over a period of time in the industry? So,
good evening, everyone. Yeah, thank you, Ganesh. Quality, this concept of quality has evolved, much in a different way. In my experience, last 32 years, and then the day it was started, it was produced and shipped. It can be rejected or ship it. That was the concept. So we made and we ship it. After that, technician came into the picture to correct the technical issues. He became an inspector, and then after that, the quality department came into the picture. Why someone has to catch the defect, and it comes to this one gone to the system and process, and then customers started realizing only they used to maybe thinking price level. Later they are saying value for money. They need something else. If I pay $10, should be 10 more than $10 the quality product. So the demand is started raising day by day by by brand all over the world. And then it started asking, why should I buy this product? Then quality comes into the picture. So exceed the customer satisfaction, then we need to do something. Then what was required? Then system was required. To set the system, what we require, process is required. To set the process, what is required? Training is required. In the further training, then we need a trainer, then academic qualification, all this comes. Otherwise, we have a very traditional way of producing and ship it. So everyone may be the operator, everyone may be the suggester, or they have good experience so many years and they used to ship it, but that is gone. And after that, we came into the picture of implementing the system and process, and then a lot of things are involved. Material is changed, fashion is changed, and then fit is changed. People started looking just to wear the garment it was a necessary. After that, how to wear, what to wear, it has come to the picture. Then design concept is started. When design concept is started, then designers have created the designs. So simple shirt maybe people may not wear, or a simple dress. Now it is depends which, then it is seasons are created based on the fashion design, based on the weather it is. Maybe some countries have a different weather. They have a 4 season, and they have maybe 5 season like that. They based on the weather control, they change. Like summer, we want to wear a lightweight. Earlier, that was maybe not there, 30 years back. Everywhere maybe the cold season, then weather is changed, climate is changed, then fashion is added into that what people wanted. That is a more, quality is evolved into this based on the necessity and the requirement. That requirement, it's gone into the bigger way. So then lots of, we can say, training, colleges, automation involved, system process, different kind of materials, mills are, started doing the different qualities of the fabric items, everything. So we came into that picture. So it is massive changes in last 20 years. Earlier, only who know how to put the thread in the needle, he was a master. Today it is not. It is totally different. Who is delivering on time with quality? It was there. So basically that the concept of quality is evolved is every person is aware of what is quality. Not only in the garment, but also in the any kind of product. It can be automobile, it can be transport, it can be anything, fabric, all this thing, including building, everything where quality comes in the first. The priority goes to the quality first, and then productivity. So like it was so much. And another thing was there in the time, if production is getting slow, then maybe quality is coming right. That is a totally wrong statement it was. Now, productivity goes up, then only we can see the quality improvements. So basically in that, if you do slowly, I can make the right product. It is not there now anymore. So we need to see the higher production, you can see the quality development. There are a lot of change evolved into this, quality system process included. Earlier, now, any buyer used to come to any industry, any factories, any companies. They used to see what kind of product they used to make. That day is gone. Now the buyer, same customer is coming and asking what kind of system you have, how we are going to meet my delivery. Business excellence come into the picture. Earlier, business excellence was not there. Maybe orally friend of this one, they know well each other for a long time, and then they used to give the order. It is not like that now. Now compliance is important, system and process important, automation is important, then product is important, quality is important, and then delivery in the span of time, how we are going to deliver it. So that all this thing, concept of the quality, it includes so much of changes in the last 20 years.
Absolutely. And thanks, Dr. Hegre. And one of the things that I've also seen is that this concept of right first time, I think uh,
Yes,
there used to be, when you talked about productivity,
yes,
it's about what I remember learning was that you'd rather produce, if you produce the right first time, it actually is higher productivity than than producing it wrong and then
exactly,
fixing it.
Yeah.
exactly,
So I
exactly.
think very, very good, area where that productivity, traditionally the concept was that quality, if you want to produce good quality, you produce
Yeah,
less.
system and process product, it is less maybe in the very
Yeah,
initial stage. But
right,
when we implemented lean, there is no scope of loading the one next to one style to next style.
right,
If it is continuously to chain with this one, so matter of 9 hours we want to take out the fresh product. Earlier it used to take 3 days to came out, take out the product of this one. Now we have a span of 9 hours. Now the people are asking you should make it in 3 hours. So like that, speed concept is already there. We have first time, right, RFT and everything we have, and plus lean, we have a traffic light system to make the set the quality before it's coming out. All are there.
right. Okay. So next, I would like to kind of we talked about now just how the quality is evolved. Mr. Murthy, I would like to ask you. You've spent a fair bit of time more on the buying house side of the business. So, what are the expectations that quality now have from brands? So,
Okay.
maybe if you could,
Yeah, sure.
share with the audience some of
While
your,
I would, thank
yeah,
you, Gunesh, and good afternoon, all. I just want to add a little more to what Mr. Shipaz was sharing here on how the concept of quality has evolved. I feel more than along with all these things, you just imagine earlier if something was not fitting or we did not like it, we just used to go to the showroom or the retailer and just drop it and take something else. Now the customer broadcasts it. If he doesn't like something, he goes onto the social media and he says that, oh, I didn't like it. So you are forced to, the retailers are asking the customers, tell me why you are not liking it. So the quality earlier was within the doors now, and now it has come out open Pandora box kind of thing. Like if he likes it, he will definitely share it to the world. If he doesn't like it, the retailer will force him to share his feedback, saying that, okay, tell me what is wrong. Why did you return it? Why did you not like it? So the quality I see in that perspective also, that earlier it was within the closed outlet only, and now it has come to the whole world. So that's one thing which I just wanted to add what Dr. Shipaz was saying. And yes, when it comes to this, what you have said about the expectations of the brand, uh, it's a continuation to what Dr. Shipaz is saying. I feel that now the customer, see, if I have an ex-customer who purchases 1,000 units of a product, for me now, it's not one customer purchasing 1,000 units. For me, it's 1,000 customers purchasing from me. Each and every product, each and every customer purchasing 1 unit is a customer for me now. So if you're supplying for a customer who was using 10,000 garments or 10,000 units, that means you have to tackle 10,000 customers over there. 10,000 customers' feedbacks are important for you. 10,000 customers, their positive feedback or the negative feedback is important for you. That's what how I see that the customer feels. Now they don't just leave it, okay, probably one return, two returns. If it's a 5% return, they want to know why there is a 5% return in that product. Why they cannot make it 100% successful product in in the stores? That's what I feel is the changing now. Second is no consumer, customer, our customer, the buyers are ready for any returns. They are not really happy to return. I mean, they want to see returns coming back, except that a small size issue or someone has put up a weight or something. But they also want that customer don't return for the sake of feel or for the sake of durability after wash. There's someone says it shrunk abruptly and it's probably a medium size has become a small size. They don't want that to happen. They don't want someone to say that this is too harsh. I want it to be a little softer. So they want to see that feel as well as fit consistency, as well as durability is taken care. That's what the real customer wants now.
Okay, Ajay, would you want to add something? Was you also work with the brand side of the business? Anything would like to add in terms of what
Yeah,
are the
definitely.
expectations?
To answer to the first and the second question, I think whatever the light Hegde has put on, two things, two aspects to this is since I worked for both manufacturing as well as on the quality front, I have seen on the both sides. I was sitting on both sides of the bench, fighting for quality as well as productivity. So the challenge earlier, what it was like, the focus was more on the product, like what Mr. Hegde was said, and when I've seen quality evolving over a period of time, we talk about bulk production, but what exactly is bulk production? Are we consistently getting the product out? Because like Muti has pointed out, every product is unique. And imagine I'm doing an $80 or a $125 Rolf Roller shirt. Now that consistency is very, very important for the customer to see, make, feel that he is buying that product and the value for the money. So that becomes very important. Now, how do we control this at the manufacturing level? Um, Usually the traditional way of checking the product was AQL, either it's 1, 2.5 or 0.65 AQL. But now what we actually see is that the quality rate of every process has to be measured, basically, whether it might be cutting, sewing, washing. Now the product of all this quality rate becomes the first time right. So all putting all this put together, now the focus on manufacturing a very consistent value product becomes very important in the supply chain, because every customer, like what Muti has said, like every product goes to each and every customer, and we have to see a minimal customer complaints because it's getting broadcasted at a social media level. So that becomes the KPI for the manufacturer.
Okay, thanks, Ajay. Coming along, at just in terms of if anybody has any questions, there is a little Q&A box at the bottom where you can post your questions and queries, and we'll be happy to take them up. We have a few topics we'll be discussing, and I think after a few minutes, we'll be happy to start taking questions from you. And if you have any specific queries, the little Q&A box at the bottom, go there, type in your question, and we'll take it up. Okay, great. I would like to just move along in terms of Dr. Hegde, you are actually part of one of the foremost manufacturers of our country in garments, and want to just understand what are some of the areas that manufacturers can focus on that can help them improve quality, as well as there is a term we keep using is cost of quality. So maybe if you could give us a few pointers about what manufacturers can do to improve their quality and cost of quality. Okay, great.
Ideally, one is first to make the profit. Second one is reduce the cost. That is definitely there.
Well, that is everybody's.
Yes, but the thing is now I'm feeling one threat for all our manufacturers in India and all the vendors, saying that today, like example, in my cluster, we have around 14,000 women are working today as an operator. They almost crossed the middle age, and then they may, after 10 years, their children no one is coming as an operator. They're all studying in a good colleges, engineering, business schools, and all medicine, all they're needing it. So after 10 or 15 years, who is going to sew the garment in India? That is the biggest question for everyone, because there no operator is available. We cannot think every hour. We can see that. I know the list of in April or May, I can see out of 500 women, more than 350 or 400, they bring their children marks card and showing to us, see, my daughter is scored more than 90%. Please suggest us which college is good. So this is the biggest threat every vendor has in future. We all has to focus on then how to, make this industry, focus on where. There is slightly, apart from the quality requirement, this manufacturer, what you see improvement, but this one threat we have, along with that, for that to, compete or overcome of that problem, we have to go for a automation. So instead of 100, 1,000 people, maybe we can increase our automation. It, the cost is more still. In the future, it is very well point, because sustainability in the quality product due to automation is required, and it is a mandatory, and this is a necessary. So that vendor has to focus on that automation because of these certain reasons. And then we have to focus on the materials. We may, whatever spending your time in the garment manufacturing unit, that much we are not spending time in either buyer or vendor, not spending so much time in the fabric mill area. Maybe the yarn procuring or a fabric, weaving, whatever it is, that is, is another still gray area. Lot of automation and I can say very modernizing machines are available. Shais, we also spending a lot of money into that. Good investment put, our product is much, much, much better than last 5 years I have seen. So this is there, but entire vendors, they have to work on materials, and then setting up their own benchmark and process. Like any company has, they should have their own standard of the quality. This is the quality we are going to ship it. For I have only one point. People are talking about percentage of a defect rate. Example, how seriously we are thinking. I learned from TBM. It is a lean trainer who was with a Gokul Das, and I trained by 1 month. Every day we used to learn from the lean. They used to tell me, if you are thinking according to you 2% quality defect is okay. I said, yes, sir. We follow AQLs. Under AQL it is. They said, I will give you another example how serious it is. If 100 babies are born a day, percentage one born or a two babies like a 2%. Shall I drop one baby from my hand to floor? Is it possible? I said, no, it's very serious. Then he's saying, this quality defect is so serious. Think like that. So we are adopted that culture into our everyday level. Quality defects should be zero, and we have to fight, and we have to strive. Anyway, quality is journey, but still defective product, and it will kill our business, and then we lose our confidence with the buyer and trust. So like the where vendor has to focus only definitely on the key areas of the quality, where how can he produce it, and defect rates. Second thing is skill development. Some companies may be thinking today training and skill development is a expenses, but we are thinking, I am thinking it is an investment. So if today's investment definitely will give the tomorrow good result. So need to focus on the skills, and then production through earlier it was a like through production manager in the company. Now we are changing and thinking into go through the industrial engineers. They can do the innovation. They can do innovative on the whatever the products. They have a methods, everything. Industrial engineer can think, because earlier production manager used to work as like their traditional way. Now it is a modernized, everything is same. We have a people from the colleges, business schools, and industrial engineers. So we can drive into that. All manufacturer to focus more into industrial engineer side. Another thing is we can think stop working with in a very traditional way. No, stop working on a scientific method. We have to use it. When we go to this and automation, when you do the automation, it is much we can reduce the all the cost also. Maybe machine cost looks more, but productivity is very high. So we can meet our targets. That is one automation. Another thing is when we do all we are doing that, maybe people are thinking today how much we achieved, how much we shipped, only this much. But everyone has to go department wise, data integrity, data analysis, data records. So there we can make out where you are losing money or we are making money. And some people may be high expensive, salary people also wasting time also. So we have to bring the concept of lean into our each department, in each vendor has to bring lean principles into full-time work. Industrial engineering, lean principles, quality system and process, all should meet together. Then we can sustain business in India, as well as we can produce more, we can gain the more trust with our customers, and then in time we can make profit, and even we get, as a staff, we get a good incentives. So this is the one where area all the vendor has to adapt.
Right, Dr. Agre, thank you so much. And I think bottom line is to look at, I think some of the key takeaways I can see from what you just talked about is look at it holistically, look at it from not just, that just cost is more expensive, look at trainings, skilling people so that we are able to produce the right quality. I think those are very important, and we'll come to, I see a lot of questions coming in from some of the from attendees on, especially in today's scenario. So I'll come to the next part of our webinar. This is a question which I'll probably, it's addressed to all three, but maybe Ajay, you could start off with. In post-COVID world, and this has been the big event of our, maybe not only lifetime, but probably the century. How do you see quality inspections and what factories and brands are doing? So I'm going to make it a much bigger question, is how do you see the role of quality and how brands and vendors will need to manage quality in this post-COVID world? One is maybe in the very, very short term, and maybe if you could throw some light upon what it means for the future. So Ajay, maybe you want to start off, but I would like all the three panelists, their experience, because I'm sure I can see Murthy also getting happy, excited about it, but I know this is one of the.
I just
So
wanted to
Murthy,
add
why don't we
something
start with you?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add something to Dr. Shripad.
Why don't we start with you? Yeah.
About the, I mean to say that what manufacturers should focus upon. I feel that manufacturers should focus very strongly on how strong are their risk assessment and line review meetings are.
Exactly.
If your risk assessment is really strong, you know what are your pain areas, you know well in advance how to tackle it, whether I have to use a folder or a template or a guide. You are well prepared, so you don't firefight during the production time, be it for quality or be it for your lead time. So that's one thing which I feel. Second is, my experience says that the mindset shift of we have to understand that if the product is in our hand, it's our baby. I mean, suppose if I try to alter a garment at the needle point, probably it will cost me 1 or 2 rupees more. If it gets altered, reworked at the end of the line, it costs me few thousand. But if it doesn't get verified properly and goes to the customer, then I have to pay in thousands of dollars, as well as my reputation at stake. So this is how it means. You have to understand that at needle point is what I have to try to focus. Needle point, I try to impact the cost minimal. And if it goes out of the end line and gets tried to into the cartons, it's in thousands and dollars, and later on reputation stake. That's just one thing which I added to Dr. Shripad, what he was saying. And post-COVID world, I see, sorry though, Ajay, I think this was to you, but I just...
No problem.
Trying to,
Anyways, I'll continue.
Yeah. I feel that it's more now, it will be the self-empowerment. Yeah. Every vendor has to own it. You cannot expect check the checker system anymore. Because it could be because of the social distancing, physical distancing. Every operator, supervisor also will fear that I cannot go so close to an operator and check what he's doing. He himself also would not like to do that, be it COVID-19 or a second wave or something else. So we should try to make that every operator owns it, or every individual person owns his work. He tries to feel it's his own responsibility, take his accountability for the work job given to him. And likewise, the customer will feel that every vendor should do his own self-inspection, try to take responsibility for what is getting shipped. And if they don't like, tomorrow they find something wrong, then we are gone. We are out of the market. We don't get a second chance anymore. They will try to just shift out. So virtual inspections, self-empowerment is what is going to be future. What I see.
Yeah.
Ajay, yeah. And Ajay, you want to add anything to that? I know you're doing a lot of work in this area. Yeah.
So, see, whatever work we have done on this digital front, what I could say, it's not about post-COVID or pre-COVID. The digital journey started much earlier, but I'll definitely add the advantages of what it means to become digital in terms of quality checking. Like, there's no policing. like we have to come out of this culture of getting policing every checker. Now somebody asked me how many checkers you have in the factory. So we come out with per line 2 QCs, a roaming checker, a QA manager, and they come out with such concepts. But what I personally feel is like every operator is a checker himself, right from a factory manager to the production to the supervisor. Everybody is a checker. Basically, we are all focusing on the product to come out right first time. So the somebody has mentioned in the session also, the quality is at the source. Now we are monitoring the quality, but what is this monitoring mean is like we are transforming this particular data into some kind of documentation. Now Sripad, I know that we in Gokulas we used to have a separate MIS team to check what is the inline report DR of 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 30 odd factories. Now imagine if I have got around 150 to 200 factories, and they have got multiple lines, and we have got different reports like inline, interim, pre-final, PP meeting, size set, a debranding report. Now how do I consolidate? Now this becomes a humongous task for a head of quality to manage this. So what we have done is we have teamed up with Blue Cactus. Gunish has helped us in terms of developing a mobile app for for getting all the information at one source. So the difficulty was like I understand that at the manufacturing level, 1 or 2 factories can be manually manage this data. Now for me, data is information. Now the moment I have data, I can refine and I can take actions on that. So this was a huge challenge for us to get all these 200 factories and the information getting on board. So through the cloud-based app, we have given access to all the vendors who can generate their reports online. Now of course, the biggest factor for for the product to get right is we have to collaborate with the vendors. We have to build trust within our vendors. That is what we empower them. And then the next step is going on to virtual audits. So now what this virtual audits actually means is without the QA of the buying office QA visiting the vendor location, he monitors the factory with all sets of documents in certain repository where he's got all the tech pack, control spec sheets, the risk assessment comments, and then he reviews the inline interim at a frequent level, so that we get the confidence of the vendor, and the buyer also gets the hang out of that somebody is monitoring us remotely. It's not about that I have to I'm not getting the hands out of the whole situation, but I still have to have certain monitoring mechanism. And through virtual audit, we have done with couple of vendors, and we are seeing some kind of positive results, because that's the only way. Now what are we doing right now? We are all engaged in this 12 by 12 inch of monitor and just talking and discussing, and this is all based on trust, and some kind of information is flowing through this. Now this is the only way what I can see post COVID, the vendors can look upon and trust the suppliers, the buyers. We can do it at any given point of time.
Dr. Hegde, thanks, Ajay. And Dr. Hegde, you want to add anything post-COVID? You've been uh, running these factories. What has been the overall experience? What are the expectations from buyers? You are from the manufacturer side.
Every minute, every second, we feel high risk. That's one thing for everyone.
Yeah.
So but this I want to say now that knowledge, and then that people understood already how serious it is. So we started bringing the May 4th. I think we started back. That time we used to train the people to keep social distance, all these things. Now people are clearly understood themselves. They are taking care. That's a good point. It has come in all the levels factory. Now there is no person is talking less than 3 meters, 1.5, 2 meters, 3 meters. That only they talk. They're managing their own safety level. That is one point. It is there. And otherwise we are feeling, but the problem is to the workers. They don't have a good transportation to the factories. They have to go back in the rain, and then they cannot go and buy something. All these things are there for everyone, is there, all the public. But still we already settled now. So it is that much, anxiety is not there. Anxiety level is gone down now. So otherwise we face a lot of problem in the factory, how to start, there are so many complications we faced in the beginning. Now it is very clear. And another thing is our customers are coming on a virtual calls. That is there, but that is a new knowledge we got it now. How to make this virtual call, Zoom call, every day we are busy with that. That is another thing is now the people are not ready to come to all the factories, mainly our customers. So they are sitting at home safely, and they are watching, but they are helping us. No, you need to go for in the public meeting and the training, keep them away in the use also internal Zoom call. All these things are happening. So it is now we are almost settled down now.
Okay, great. I've got what I'll do is we've got a few minutes left, and I will just we've got quite a few questions coming in from our participants. So let's take some of those questions up, and I will let people answer those questions depending upon how comfortable they are on that. One question people have asked is that if you're a small manufacturer and you have budget constraints, how can you invest in training, automation, some of the other things to improve quality? So what kind of advice would you give to manufacturers? And I'll address this question to probably Murthy and Ajay, because Dr. Hegde is from a very large manufacturer, but I'll let Murthy and Ajay talk about. I mean, you work with all sorts of sizes of factories, so maybe if you could just throw some light upon that, because I know it's in everybody's mind that expense to immediately ho jata hai, but the returns become a little later. So any case studies or any ideas you could give, or any experiences you could share, or Ajay, you could share. Murthy, why don't you start?
Yes.
Mr. Gunesh, one second. Mr. Gunesh, yeah, I'm from the pig vendor, but person is very simple.
Yeah, that's I can say. But when people so yeah, go ahead, Mr. Murthy. Yeah.
Yeah, just to answer your thanks, Gunesh. I feel first of all, if you are really concerned about quality, that you should definitely need an investment. Quality does not come so easy, or it's not free.
Yeah.
Having said that, at least you should have a strong leader in quality in your factory, where you are really bothered, because it's the matter of your investment, what you're doing in. So if you have one leader who can train, it's like train the trainer. You have one person who can make another 10 more people under your factory. If you have one quality leader, a GM, he can definitely create another 10 more quality leaders under him. So he should be the one guy who can lead and convert them. That's definitely, that minimum investment is definitely needed. While we say this, I also believe that yes, now you have so many things in the social media. I mean to say, you go YouTube, you go anywhere where you have a lot of information readily available, where we can use them as an illustrative or I mean to say, virtual trainings for them. You can share a lot of data. It can be like, see, if you an example, if I say to an operator what is right and what is wrong, it may be difficult for an operator to visualize it. However, if I put something, what is right, what is wrong, in front of both images, she always knows that this is not what I'm supposed to do. This is only I'm supposed to do. So try to take a little bit help of a virtual help. I mean, it is more of a images, illustrations, and I feel a minimal investment of having a good quality leader who can make 10 more leaders in your factory. That's minimal requirement is definitely needed.
Exactly.
Great point.
Just
Murthy,
to add,
add,
Manish, see, we all see quality as a different process, but what I feel over a period of, I mean, with the number of experience, what I see is quality is not a separate process. It's an inbuilt within the system. It has to be inbuilt within the system. Now, like in my earlier statement, everybody is a quality guy. Basically, it's not like it's a person oriented that there's a separate quality team who does the quality job. It's the responsibility of each and every guy who is there present at the factory to produce a quality product. That's the whole purpose. And it's not like we need a separate investment. Basically, a good guy, definitely a good guy, people should know the process in and out, and making that quality product out. That's the minimal investment what we say in terms of training. And we have a lot of tools now on how to address the day-to-day quality issues. It's not nothing new. I mean, the moment you start a factory, whether you be it a 40 machine or a 100 machine, we should know what are the minimum quality requirements of the buyer and act according to that.
Right. And
Yeah.
one thing I'd like to just add to this, what and Dr. Hegde mentioned, I was in one of our discussions we were having that in your company, Dr. Hegde, you're only hiring graduates, which is quite revolutionary, I would say, in our industries. Even for every level, you're hiring graduates, maybe not operators, but Dr. Hegde, you want to add, you want to maybe talk a little bit, expand a little bit about how
Actually,
this thing.
Now, sorry, thanks, Gunesh. We have started doing last now almost 1 year now. We thought that, to hire graduates because they can understand much easier and faster than any other people. So we thought, and then the question came up, with us only, saying that maybe they are expensive. Then we said, no, let us try, go to some colleges and some fashion designing school like ATDC Bangalore and Karnataka state. Completely, we have around 21 ATDC centers. I have taken people from all because I am also guest faculty for them. And not only this checkers and QCs, we are hiring graduates. We also selected graduate for industrial engineer trainings. And then also we also have an idea of that one, some of the mechanics. Earlier mechanics were the normal, they pass 7th or 8th standard or 9th, 10th standard. Now we started hiring, they're also graduates. People are available to, ready to come and join. So that is a good point. And they can take, the ownership of the each work. As Mr. Murthy said, whatever the people are doing, the quality, it should be a quality job. So to train us also, it is very easy. And then another thing is, the main purpose of hiring graduate is they have a lot of innovation ideas. Because we are thinking first 30 years we are working, 25 years we are a masters. No, actually just very fresh graduate give better ideas than us. So we thought that we made it one kind of SQC team, a Shahi quality control team. Now we are par with like Minoshima of Japan, the company, what we hired them. No, they also kept the people. I mean, Indians only. One Japanese guy will be there as a leader. They are checking our entire garment, 100% garment check. They used to give 0.5% defect rate up to 0.1% defect rate. Then we thought, why we can't make it? So we hired 20 people of graduates. They're delivering the same quality. So the cost perspective was cheaper for us than any other, country or agency. So we thought this is the best method of this because people are so many people are available, and our operators, children, they are graduates also available for us. They know that our mother came from the industry, father came from this industry. Why we can't? We are approaching them. So we are announcing in our factory also. We need a IE, we need a QE. Some graduates, please bring them. So it is very easy and they can adapt the skills and training and knowledge, everything very faster. So it is a good thought we made it and we are already hiring like that.
Very interesting, Dr. Hegde, and this is something which, our industry traditionally tends to hire not very, highly educated people, workforce. And I think it's a very interesting experiment that Shahi is doing. One question which has come up and, we're talking about quality, we talk about tools. And one of the attendees has asked this question is, how far is the success of 7 QC tools in apparel industry? And can you practically implement tools in our industry? And maybe if people could share 2 or 3 tools which are important to implement as far as quality is concerned in our industry. Because again, people keep talking benchmarking is, automobile industry, but we all understand our garment is our garment industry. So maybe if anybody would like to add, talk about tools, Ajay, Murthy, anybody? Or Dr. Hegde is a PhD, so he can probably can.
Start off, Gunesh.
Go ahead, Ajay. Why don't you start?
See, I mean, we have quality tools, the 7 quality tools, the different graphs, Pareto graphs, bar chart. But what I see is it's all about how what is the mindset and what do you want to do with the data basically. That's the whole question. Like how much data you want to get analyzed and what actions are you taking now. many of the firms, they just make reports, but no proper analysis is done and what actions to be taken on. Now, even if they take action, is really getting onto the product for improvement. Now, to name the tools, we have number of tools, what we say, and we have done RPN, severity, ratings at different stages. Even we have, in my career, I have done a CPK analysis on measurement. What should be the CPK process? What is the process controls we have on measurements? Now we talk about tolerances. Now what is, now everybody knows that the product is made within a tolerance, but how many of the firms are actually wanted that their product doesn't meet the, I mean, they meet exactly to the requirement. Now we either tend to a negative or a positive. That's the usual trend of the product. But how a manufacturing unit wants to reach to a level of getting the measurements right first time, basically, there's no tolerance. Now that is where exactly the statistical control tools will help. Basically, now it's all about how we pursue this and start measuring and then see actions. And for this, obviously, there's a requirement of a proper industrial engineer who looks into all these things, and it is equally taken from the top management. It's not like IE wants to do on his own. He makes a report that becomes redundant again. Somebody has to acknowledge, somebody has to take action on this, somebody has to work on this. So somebody means the whole team. What I mean to say. So that's the whole objective of using the statistical control tools, basically.
And just to add what Ajay is saying, I feel that other than why you have this SPCs, SQs, or Paratos, and if you start using tools like a fishbone, or which were very, I mean, we've been using for years now, fishbone analysis, or if you want to do even a 5i, it's very important. What Ajay is saying is how deep you want to go. Or do you really want to go to the real root cause of the problem and fix it? And so that, and not only just fix it and work on a preemptive action, then you should try to work out on this FIMEs or FMEYs and the so-called fishbones and all, because then you know whether it's the problem lies with the method or it lies with the problem with the material. And really, when you start working on a corrective and preventive actions, you have to bring, because in root cause, you do a brainstorming session with all the departmental heads. You have to make them, and you have to go for a consensus when it really try to resolve it. So you are making everyone accountable, everyone is giving your opinion, and when want to fix it with the preventive action, definitely you need to come together. So as I just totally agree with what Ajay is saying, how really, what is your main purpose of having these tools is very important.
Right, and I think it comes down to one. I mean, just to kind of summarize, the key takeaways would be: one, to have data. So collecting relevant data is important, and then what kind of tools or what kind of methods you use to analyze the data and then take the corrective action. I think one of the things that I have seen over the years is that companies where the deviation is captured very quickly, the process is so strong that the moment there is a deviation, rather than knowing at the end of the line, and you made this point, Murthy, that quality is at the needle point. So if by the time I know the quality report at the end of the day, then probably I've already produced 500 wrong pieces, and the cost of fixing those 500 pieces is humongous. So I think doing that is important, and I think training is an area where I've seen companies which have invested in trainings have made a huge difference in terms of quality and productivity. People talk about cost of quality, and in our industry, when I started off, and we used to, and maybe it's still the case in some companies, where it used to be inline checker, endline checker, then you have a final checker, you have a refinal, you have a measurement checker, then you have pressing, you have repressing, you name it, we are doing those processes multiple times, and even then the inspections open up and the shipment opens and then you say, what was the entire checking team doing? And I think companies, brands don't pay for, the customer is only paying for you to stitch a garment or to sew a garment.
Yes.
If you check the garment 50 times, he's not going to pay you 50 rupees more. So at the end of the day, producing right first time, I think, and making that as part and parcel of your culture is very, very important. There are some tools available, and like Ajay mentioned, is something which we also have, Blue Cactus, as a quality tool which brands use. One very nice line I just got from one of the attendees, Mr. Kulwant Singh, is quality is not a functional objective, but rather an organizational objective. And I think that's a very, very, very
Yes,
good statement.
exactly. Yeah.
I will take one more question and then we'll kind of wrap it up because we are a garment focused webinar. We will be on time. So on time is a very, very important. Our shipments will go on time and we will finish the webinar on time. Okay. So one question, and there's a lot of other questions. What I'll also do is we will collect those queries, circulate it to the panelists, and we will get back to you with the answers to those queries. I'm sure they'll be happy to address some of those questions. So, forgive me if we are not taking your question up, but there's a lot of commonality in some of the questions. One of the questions which which was put forward is that how can we achieve zero defect? Now, we have talked about zero defect, and it's a phrase used. So how can we achieve it, Dr. Hegde? You tell us.
No, very simple as don't produce the product.
Okay.
No, zero defect. It is possible to achieve. In the sense, it depended not only because of the ownership of the quality department. It is from everyone, because everyone is responsible for quality.
Yeah.
Like the question is, when any defect comes in the production floor or a finishing floor, we work on all, we work on risk analysis, data analysis, 8 disciplines, and where it is root cause, everything we do. But in a similar way, if fabric is ordered by the merchant, wrongly ordered by the merchant, we never do any kind of risk analysis. We never do that because it will get skipped. Only thing is, always it is come, only garment has a defect. There is no one is ready to find out maybe the problem in the process or a material or any kind of, like Ajay said, what is the purpose of the data? No one is ready to see that. We type it and file it. So that is there. We have to take out that one data from there, and then really we want to work. Then we can make it to, everyone has to think. Of course, it is a senior management focus should be on zero defect. Then everyone, it comes that, heat will come to all the level, but it cannot be started from the low level or a middle management. It has to start from the top management, then drive us, everyone into the defect free, because we produce 100 garment, we have a 5 defect pieces. 95 are right. Why can't we make other 5 also right? That is the question it is. If you think that way, definitely we can take out that defect free in that. Now, like one of the biggest brand, we made it for this particular line, 3 swing line, 93 days we are giving without uncut thread, not even 1 mm, because UBT machine still gives, old machine gives 6 mm thread, but we made it into zero, that 1 mm. Without 1 mm, they cannot do it. So that level we controlled and we made them, we assured them. They were happy with us. So if everyone is taking that spirit into this, make it defect, zero defect, definitely we can make it. Because one car has around 32,000 parts in one, like Maruti car, 32,000 parts. Why can't we do it 18 parts in a garment? Why can't we make it defect free? It is a mindset. Come on, guys, we can start. We can do it. Yeah, because
absolutely. Absolutely, Dr. Hegde. I think it's about mindset. Murthy, you want to add any last comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing. It's while all these tools are there or you have a process, my experience, my personal experience I'm sharing is that it's very important to calibrate people at regular intervals.
Exactly.
Please do calibrate people at regular intervals. Give them, even if you have a production manager, do calibrate him. It's the GM's responsibility to calibrate whether he is just giving the quantity to you or he's giving the quality also to you. How do you calibrate? When you see your defect data, when you see your rejection data, rework data, you know that, okay, he's not giving the right quality. He's just giving me the quantity, which does not work. If I do a 5% rework or rejection, that means he's not doing. So important is to define very clear the roles, that in every role there is a quality bound in it. And secondly, calibrate your people. Yeah. Please do not stop calibrating your people. Otherwise, you will be ending up with surprises and giving explanations gaps. caps, 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 caps. And one day
All right,
you
Ajay,
should
I'll
take.
have the last word for you. Any last thoughts, comments?
Very interesting thought. Like how do we get to zero defect? What I rephrase this. What are we doing? What is that we are working towards getting into a zero defect? That's the question I just want to. Like we have data. Like we proudly say that we have less than 5% rescreen, or our rejection is 1%. Now, if I see a turnover of 200 CR annually, and I claim that 1% is my rejection, I mean, per annum he's losing 2 CR. And I personally see that it's the opportunity lost for the manufacturer to make a gain out of that 1%. Why do you have to actually rely on this number? Are we working towards it? Now I have a rescreen. Now do I have a milestone of getting into making it into 3% or 4% in the next coming season, or what is that? What is that the team is working towards? It will not happen overnight. Definitely
Right.
not. It takes a journey, and it takes years long to get. That's what I keep saying, that are we working towards zero defect, rather than saying that how can we get into a zero defect mode? Now, are we
Right.
working towards it? That's the most important question that I want to put to the
Okay,
audience.
great. Ajay, thank you. Sorry, we're just now reaching the 4 o'clock, and we will wrap it up for this session. And wanted to thank the panelists, Murthy, Ajay, Dr. Hegde, so much for a very informative, useful session. It was fantastic to get your experience and your concept of quality. Also wanted to thank the participants, particularly those who asked questions. Uh, you people have been a very good audience, being there attentively listening to it. And I'm sure you would have found some takeaways from this session, which you could probably implement in your organizations. Quality is important. It is a mindset. And I think if we have that mindset, we will be all successful and actually make this industry a fantastic industry. So with that, wanted to thank everyone for their time. Appreciate it. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Manish.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Dr.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Yeah.